in the country choose, everybody self-employed chooses their health insurance. So this is one of the best times ever to invite people to take a look at the opportunity. One, because the healthcare piece. Two, because people are starting to set goals for next year. And three, is we're gonna have our official launch to the Dallas area next Saturday. And so if you can have a Zoom meeting this coming week, and you can have a bunch of people take a look at this opportunity, when we have our launch next week, and we have a room full of people next week that are taking notes, getting trained, learning the information, how many of you would like to be looking around the room going, that whole section, that's my section right there. Those are my gals and girls right there. Like, that's my team. Let's go, guys. Let's go. So this, I believe, will be one of the best weeks of the whole year to have a Zoom meeting because of all these things that are happening right now. I believe it's the perfect storm. And I think that it's easy to take a look at what we have going on right now, the power of Impact Health Share. Guys, this is the highest revenue producing service in the history of this industry, direct sales and network marketing. In the history of this industry, they have over a 95% customer retention rate. Man, I had a leadership call last night with my team, and an attorney that was on there. We had a gentleman on our call by the name of Presley Swaggerty. And here's somebody that's made tens of millions of dollars doing this. Now, first off, how many of you just hearing that was like, I didn't know that was possible, first off. Right now, I'm not saying that a lot of people do that, but here's something that hasn't. Here's what he said. He said, I have over 1.5 million customers in my organization. Wow. And he said 98% of them happened before Impact Health Share. He said, I made tens of millions of dollars doing this off of on an average of a 76-cent per commission per electric bill. The average commission for an Impact Health Sharing customer in your team is $6 to $8 a month. Yep. He's like, I'm looking at this as the 10X factor. He said, I'm out of retirement now. I'm rowing the boat again. Because I've never seen anything. I've never seen anything. I'm so excited I can't hold the clicker, right? Because it just gave me so much perspective. So when you think about the timing of where we are, you think about the economy, you think about how open people are, you think about the simplicity of our system, the question people ask, well, why isn't everybody successful? How many of you already thought about that today? How come not everybody wins in this business?
Yeah, do it.
And I tell you, the biggest reason why not everybody wins is right here. And that's not just this business, it's in everything in life. Yep. See, here's what I believe. Your attitude determines your altitude in life. Yes. See, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. I would agree. Right. Somebody say, I can. And somebody else say, I can't. Whoever feels a lot better to say I can, right? See, we gotta have to have that I can mentality. So much of people's success is right here. It's about their attitude, it's about their heart. But the other part here is that I think that people let their emotions get the best of them. See, people ask me all the time, Jeff, what's the best thing about this business? And man, we're in the people business. And they say, what's the worst thing about this business? Man, we're in the people business. And see, I would agree, people can be really great, and people can be, let's keep it nice, not so great. And see, not everybody's going to see what you see. Would you agree? And see, the biggest key that Patrick's taught me over the years is to just detach your emotions from the yeses and the nos. If you want to write down a note, write, detach my emotions from the yeses and the nos. And see, that's the hardest thing for people to pick up. Once you get that part down, this business is easy. And here's what taught me how to get that part down. He taught me a concept of sorting. He said, professional sort, amateur sell, and convince. See, sorting is easy. See, here's what I mean by sorting. Let's say we're together this morning, and the gals from the coffee shop come in here. They start here with Gloria, and they say, Gloria, would you like a cup of coffee?
Nothing.
Okay, and what do? They move on, would you like a coffee? Would you like a coffee? Would you like a coffee? Would you like coffee?
Absolutely.
Would you like coffee? Would you like coffee? Here you go. Would you like coffee? Now, what am I doing? Sorting. I'm sorting. Now imagine the first person said no to me. Did you say no? If I was like, what do you mean you don't want coffee?
No, I just don't want coffee.
Augustine said you guys were out late last night.
But I don't want coffee.
You look tired.
Coffee won't
Take the coffee! Literally, that's ridiculous. Nobody would ever do that. Yet, some people, when they get involved in ACN, that's what they do. They say, do you look at other ways of making money? See, instead of, do you want coffee, it's, are you open to other ways of making money? And some people, when people say no, they're like, what do you mean? You need to take a look at this. And at the end of the day, you want to spend 1 minute on 100 different people, not 100 minutes on one. See, how many of you have heard the saying, you can lead a horse to water, you can't force it to drink? Anybody want to know the next part of that? Find thirsty horses. And guys, in today's time, more than ever before, people are thirsty for opportunity, but there's going to be people that are just not open to what it is that we're doing, and that's okay. Remember my analogy, it's the guy with the steak restaurant with the client that doesn't eat steak. He's not going to be offended by that. He's just going to tell somebody else about his restaurant. It's the gal that says, you're open for, do you want coffee? And they're not thirsty, just go to the next person. See, Patrick said, Jeff, spend 1 minute on 100 different people, not 100 minutes on one. See, sorting is fun, convincing is dreaming. You want to be a professional, listen, sort, and move on. And remember this, a no is not a no forever, just no, not now. And see, when we talked about that no might be a yes later on, right? And see, sometimes you just got to be that example for people. Somebody say, be the example.
Be the example.
See, because people are watching. They say, some will, some won't, so what? Someone else is waiting next. I would add a SW to that. It's some people watch. Some people watch to see what it is that you're going to do. Yeah. Now, here's how I know firsthand how true that is. That was me. See, when Patrick first got started in this business, he shared this opportunity with me, and at that point, when he said, are you open to other ways of making money? I said, no. I just opened my cell phone stores. I was so tunnel vision focused on that. I didn't have the bandwidth mentally to even look at something different. I was also like 19 at the time. Right now I'm making excuses for myself. Why I didn't say yes in the beginning, right? But he didn't make me feel bad about my no. He's like, hey, would you be my customer? I was his customer for years. And he was like, hey, can I follow up with you every few months just to share with you how this is going? I was like, yeah, do that. And we did that for 5 years. For 5 years. Now, 5 years later, here's what happened. Literally, one of my stores had just gotten robbed. And I was literally in the front of my store making an insurance claim, like banging my head up against the wall. And somebody pulls up in front of my store in this brand new red SL550 hardtop converter. And all of a sudden, the top opens. And then it closed. And then it opened again. And it closed again. Then it opened again, and it closed, and all of a sudden he walks out of it, and he walks into my store. Is this from that phone thing? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, when's the meeting? Come in, right? But it wasn't the car, it was how relaxed he looked. It was the smile on his face. See, it was what he went out and did over those 5 years. And, you know, I went out and hit regional vice president in 19 months in ACN. People, how do you hit regional vice presidents? I have 5 years of catching up to do. Now, today, my wife and I, we brought, well over 40,000 customers into Patrick and Mike's team, but I was a no for 5 years. If somebody said no to you today, but you went out and were that example, 5 years later, they got started and brought 40,000 plus customers in your team, how many of you would be cheering for that person, right? So guys, just understand that. A no may not be a no forever. See, ACN is the same for all of us. The company is the same. The services are the same. The difference is you. And this is one of the biggest things that this business has done for me, on top of what it's done monetarily, on top of the fact that it's gone out and I've met my wife from this business, so that's pretty amazing. But it taught me how to think completely differently. Because would you agree, we live in a world with a lot of negativity. Right? Sometimes people can be like crabs in a bucket. I learned that as I was building this business in the beginning. See, when one crab tries to get out of the bucket, where the other one's going back down, right? Oh, you're trying to do something different. Come back with us. But Patrick and his brother, they introduced me to books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. They started introducing me to books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And what was amazing is all of a sudden, as I was hanging around with people that were thinking different things, my thoughts started to change. And as my thoughts started to change, it was amazing how my results started to change. And see, he told me a long time ago, he said, this business is really a personal growth plan with a compensation plan attached to it. And as you become a better version of you, the results are going to follow. Now, just by thoughts, how many of you just like the idea of being involved in an environment of growth? Of people getting better. Like, it's so easy to see negativity all over the place right now. How about being in a culture of people actually on the same page looking to go out and build something? Man, I just fell in love with this environment. And we have a system that just can walk people through every single step of the system. One is, we have online trainings. We do Zoom trainings. My wife is running one right now. Patrick's wife is running one right now. As we're here launching this area, there's Zoom trainings happening as well. And so we have trainings that you can plug into. And not just you plug into, you can plug your people into. Matter of fact, Sherman, I know you met Ken on a presentation. Ken is speaking on a Zoom training right now, and Sherman's here. Matter of fact, here's one more great story for you guys about the power of the fact that success is going to be an emotional roller coaster in anything in life. We agree with that. Yes. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, and anything that we do, the way to win in it is keep the bar down. Right? And the way you keep the bar down is you understand sorting. Everybody understands sorting now, right? Yep. So the first time somebody says no, what are you going to think about? Coffee and steak, right? I don't know if that goes well together, but it did this morning. I don't know. And people just go through the emotions, and that's normal. Somebody say normal. So I met a gal named Angela, 12 years ago, and she got started in ACN and signed up, and she had scheduled her first meeting. The day of her meeting, she was nervous. Somebody say normal. Normal. Started doubting herself. I don't know if I can do this. Somebody say normal. Normal. Called me up and said, I don't know if we can do this meeting. I said, Angela, we're going to do the meeting. I got you. We're going to be here. She said, I don't know if I can do this. I go, Angela, I'm going to come back then when we did meetings. No, I'm going to come to your house, and if nobody shows up, you and I are going to sing Kumbaya together, but I'm going to be there. We're going to do this. She said, oh, okay, great. She had the meeting. Well, that day, there was a gal by the name of Susie that came to the meeting. And at the end of the meeting, she was the first person that ran up to me and said, I'm in. Matter of fact, she said, my husband told me not to bring my checkbook. But he didn't say anything about my credit card. I'm in. Man, I like this one, right? Next day, she's like, my husband's coming to meet you. I said, oh, this is going to be interesting. So he's like, I'm so excited to see what my wife signed us up for and tell me what to do. Well, that husband is Ken Potter. Today, Ken and Susie have over 10,000 customers in ACN. They're regional vice presidents. But literally, that was a meeting that almost didn't happen because of the fact that somebody was second-guessing themselves because of how normal it is to be on the emotional roller coasters of life. So just think of that story if you ever feel yourself in that place, and just know you've got a system to plug into here. So again, we have these trainings that you can continue to plug into. Their first goal, 5 services and have a meeting. I know I've gone into a little tangent about mindset because I love talking about that. I believe everybody needs it, especially in today's time. But when we boil it back down to simplicity, 5 services, 2 people. Somebody say 5 and 2.
5 and 2.
5 what?
Services.
2 what?
People.
So that's your first goal. So that helps you become customer qualified. You've now had your first Zoom meeting. You now graduate to our Friday night leadership class. And then the last step of our system is our national convention and our live regional events. Next Saturday is a big day for us. We're having 19 live regional events all across the country. How many agree Zoom's an awesome tool? Yes. Zoom allows us to scale all over the place, but how many of Zoom has also made us a little bit lazy? Yeah. See, before the pandemic, we did meetings like this. It was awesome. People connected. When we found Zoom, it was awesome. We can sit at home, like shirt like this, and who would agree? Flannel pajamas on the bottom, right? Just make sure you don't stand up during the Zoom meeting. But we're so excited now to make this into like a hybrid system where we're going to be doing these local events here on a weekly basis. You can plug into and grow it. And I believe in the next 60 days we'll have 500 people in this event every single week. Patrick's gone into markets in the past that literally started with a couple people and literally brought in 50, 60, and 70,000 customers that all started with that handful. Who would agree? Jesus started with 12. Yeah. So guys, we have an event next Saturday. It's going to be absolutely incredible. If you know people that are in northern New England, we're going to be doing these events live in Maine. We're going to be doing these events in Connecticut next weekend. We're going to be doing these events in Chicago. We're going to be doing these events in Tampa, Florida. We're going to be doing these events in
Mississippi.
Southern California,
Mississippi,
with Regional Vice President Mr. Michael Eric, Austin, Texas, Houston, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona. I'm probably missing some, but we are about to go out and explode. And so get your Zoom meetings scheduled this week. See, events build your business, events build your belief, but most importantly, events build you. And then our biggest event is going to be March 9th to March 10th.